Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our webinar on building extensible insights with Sisense. My name is Kieran Kirk. I'm the Operations Director with IMGS. With me this morning is Tanya McDonald, who's our organizer, who's working in the background, keeping everything going on the webinar side and on the technology side. We're just coming up to 10 o'clock, so we'll just wait a minute and then we'll get started with our webinar.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi, Tanya. I'm just going to kill Teams here because it's just message after message popping up. Task manager. There we go. Okay. I think it's just around 10 o'clock. So good morning, everybody, and welcome to our webinar on building extensible insights with Sisense. And thank you all for joining this morning on a nice cold day here in Dublin. I hope you're all good. And yeah, as I said, I'm going to talk to you this morning about our Sisense Analytics and the latest release and how you can build extensible insights with Sisense. So what we've seen is there's been an infusion of analytics and path to data-driven. So the first level of analytics was about bringing together people, process, and technology, just trying to map those things out so that you could have IT-driven reports and control. The second level of analytics, second generation of analytics has been where you've got data democratization, where you've got the analytics are driven by user interface and it's all about ease of use and moving towards self-service so that people can actually serve themselves. But the third generation of analytics is now full data digital transformation, where we're going to see automation and speed and digitization of systems being fast and providing analytics and data to everyone, however they need it. Currently, though, we're seeing that 92% of businesses increasing their investment in data. In a lot of cases, they're doing this because they're chasing digital transformation without actually really addressing the fundamental issues in the digital transformation plan. And that's because they're not actually, people aren't actually getting the value out of their analytics, and less than 27% of businesses are feeling successful with their analytics projects. That's because the adoption hasn't been good, that the people who need the analytics aren't getting them where they need them and how they need them. So with Sisense, we talk about an intelligence infused lifecycle. So with the Fuse, we talk about being able to infuse analytics with any ecosystem and scale securely. And also then being able to connect to your data anyway and scale it grow. So wherever your data resides, whether it's on a cloud, whether it's on a server, whether it's on a desktop, be able to bring all this information together and mash it up easily and scale it up using Sisense. And then having the ability to analyze data with or without code. So for those who like to write SQL or Python, having that functionality in the BI. But for others who just want drag and drop, that's a key way to drive self-service and provide analytics. And then being able to augment this with predictive analytics and machine learning. So being able to use these latest technologies to forecast what's going to happen, to make it easier for users to ask questions using things like natural language querying so that they can actually just ask what they want to get and get the answer. And then Infuse is bringing all this together so that you're able to create new applications, new workflows, new processes, and also bring analytics to new markets with new products and features so that your customers can actually get value out of analytics and actually that your products and your customers will then stay with you. So with Sisense, we talk about infusing analytics everywhere. So with Sisense Fusion, which is the latest rebranding of the Sisense platform, they have taken now that there's two simple product approaches. The first is embedded analytics for your customers, where if you have customers, you can differentiate your products and create new revenue streams with empowered AI analytics inside your customer applications. Or the other option, the standard workflow for BI is analytics for your business, where you can drive better decision making by infusing intelligence into business applications, workflows, and processes, wherever your teams are. So with the analytics for your business, Sisense have now merged some of the functionality from Cloud Data Teams, or Periscope as it was previously known, so that now you have this code, the ability to create analytics using coding. But then for all the other users, we still got the core Sisense functionality for creating analytics with drag and drop and through a GUI interface. So these products are now being brought together to provide one platform for all users, coders or non-coders. And again, more of the cloud data teams or Periscope functionality will be coming in Sisense in the next quarter, in Q4 of this year. So with the power of Infusion, what you are seeing is that a lot of organizations have disparate data and applications. So these applications, like your SAPs, like your Salesforce, the data and the tools don't integrate and don't come together. So, sorry, my screen does move faster. So, yeah, sorry, that slide's got a break in it. So with DVS, we're able to bring in the infusion possibilities. So being able to use Sisense to infuse the data. So to bring information from your work, from your Office 365, from your SAP, from your workflow, from your outreach to the system, and being able to actually have that data together and infuse using Sisense. So Sisense brings analytics infusion to life. So it provides a flexible data experience. So you can intelligently fuse data together no matter the shape, size, or location. It provides a robust analytic solution. So go beyond dashboards by building interactive experiences and analytic products. And it has a modern analytic infusion so you can automate the delivery insights wherever people spend their time. So with the flexible data experience, we can intelligently fuse data together no matter what shape, size, or location. With the latest release of Sisense, we've now also provided in-warehouse data preparation. So being able to actually transform and optimize raw data from your cloud data warehouses inside Sisense. So again, I talked about bringing the legacy cloud data teams and Periscope functionality now into Sisense so that you can actually write SQL to manipulate your cloud data warehouses inside the BI. Also now in the latest release is the ability to do profiling and data prep on your data information inside Sisense. So again, you can understand patterns and relationships at a glance so that you can analyze is there data quality issues in your data, being able to see that inside Sisense. And it also has some dedupe and group similar functions to help tidy up your data. So again, means that Sisense provides a single platform for bringing together all these disparate data sets and being able to work on them live inside Sisense. Also with the cloud data warehouses, Snowflake and Redshift, we've improved the efficiency of the querying. So there's been a 70% reduction in query length using Sisense. So again, speeds up your querying, cuts down your costs with your cloud data warehouses. Also now we can go beyond dashboards by building interactive experiences and customized analytic products. So with the Sisense developer playground, you can actually go to the website, see the web dashboards and embed your code, create create your SDKs or whatever you want to do, and use that information when you're there. It also means that you can also now with Sisense, you can control access and security. It's more robust from permissions control, so you can get down to the row level control, and also has single sign integration, so you can integrate with OAuth or with Active Directory or whatever you want to use. Sisense also released for those in the sales and marketing kind of area. We've now released the funnel widget, so where you can easily track stages in your processes that are sequentially dependent, so that you can actually see these nice funnels and see where things are. If it's sales, is there a lot of leads being held up in the proposal stage or at the before order, or where are they in the process? Naturally, because Sisense is so easy to integrate and embed, you can easily customize. So you have a drag and drop experience to build the look and feel, and I'll show you that later on. And also very easy to white label your Sisense dashboard so it looks like your organization. You can control the fonts, the colors, and right from the UI. And I'll show you that in a few seconds. Also, you have the ability to add custom code. So you can easily leverage code to transform and enrich your data. So we now have the notebook integration, so you can actually call Juniper notebooks from Sisense, and we actually have another webinar on that if you ever want to see it, which shows us doing machine learning in Juniper and then visualizing those results inside Sisense. And again, also with the new release, we can automate the delivery of insights whenever people spend their time. So now this is really very cool. It's the ability to use the Simply Ask, which is the natural language query, where you don't have to run a query or a report yourself by hitting a widget. You can just type in what you want to see and it'll give you the results. And you can then quickly decide how you want to visualize that result, what kind of widget you want to use. So it is really the epitome of self-service, being able to actually enter in natural text, get an answer, and visualize that without really any training. So again, provides us a fantastic self-service capability. Also within the self-service side now, we have the trends and forecasting. So being able to predict models for forward-looking answers. So being able to take information, put in a forecast period, and then see how that's going to look in the future. So being able to see what your sales or your customer service requests or your whatever it is going to look like in the future based on where it was previously. So again, really, really important for organizations who are trying to use analytics not to justify decisions that they've actually made, but to make forward-thinking decisions based on historical data. And also with Pulse, with Sisense, we have the Pulse, which is the real-time alerts, so that you can set on any of your KPIs in a dashboard thresholds or warnings. So if it's the level of sales have gone down, the sales manager can be let known. If there's a number of help desk cases that aren't being looked at or too many are open, again, the help desk manager can be let know. If there's a number of faults, whatever the KPI is, you can put a threshold on it, good or bad, to indicate and let people know what's something happening. And with that KPI, you're able to alert people via a number of means, if it by through webhooks or email, SMS, Slack, Teams, these kind of things. So you can actually alert people in whatever channel you want to, and then that brings them to the dashboard, as opposed to somebody having to log into the dashboard, check is everything okay, and go, oh yeah, it's okay, come back tomorrow. So this way, managers and execs can be told if there's something that they need to be made aware of. And also now, again, even though we have these lovely dynamic dashboards and where we all want this kind of look and feel, a lot of people just want the dashboard in a PDF, so that again it can be sent to a manager, or it can be sent to somebody who maybe doesn't have that much time to look at the dashboard, or maybe is outside your organization and can't access the system or whatever. That you can now generate really nice PDFs, lay them out inside Sisense, and then they can be generated on the fly or can be scheduled to run or be emailed out as well to customers. Again, it's a great way to get the data out to everyone in the organization, so they don't have to have access to the full dashboard. They can get this through the PDF. And again, just with the future, with the dashboards, you can also make your dashboards available through the Sisense mobile app. So being able to have these dashboards accessible through your phone, through your tablet, using the Sisense mobile app is really useful for users on the go. And again, it's just powering that adoption across the organization, enabling people to be able to get to the information how and wherever they want to see it. So I'm going to jump out and start showing you some of the new functions inside Sisense. So if I jump to my dashboard here. So what we see is if I go into our sales dashboard here, where we have all our pre-sales demonstrations, I can log in to Sisense. And Sisense starts up and we have our dashboard. So on one tab here, we have our data. So in the data tab, we have our what's called elastic cubes, or we can have a live connection. So a live connection is if you want to connect to Redshift, Azure, or SQL Server, or some of these databases, or Snowflake that we use as our data warehouse, you can make a live connection. But actually what most organizations do is they use an elastic cube. The elastic cube is an internal data warehouse inside Sisense that comes as part of the product. So again, you can then mash up your data and bring the information into that data warehouse. And in here, you can see all the dashboards that are being created. You can search by them. You can look at any of them, any of the ones that you want to see. And so I was looking at one recently. So if I go into here into the search, I can go retail, and you can see we've got, oh, sorry, we can see then we have our model. So we sample retail. If I have a look at the sample retail, you can see in this model, it has been set up to see the data. So you can see the dimensions. So we can see the dimensions that are used for the querying, for the filters, and we can see our sales orders, and we can see our purchase orders. Now with Sisense, you can click on any of this data. You can then see the schema. So you can actually see what tables are in the system. You can see also this little relationship signal sign has been put here, which means that this column has been linked to this countries table here by country code. So you can see how we built the relationships between the information. You can see the tables are also color coded. It tells you it's yellow, which means this source data was CSV. And you can also inspect the data if you want. You can actually rename tables. So again, you might be bringing data from various sources which might not have nice names. You can actually bring that data in, rename it. Inside the Elastic Cube, you can also use SQL to manipulate data. So you can create new tables, you can do unions, you can do joins, you can tidy data up. It can all be done inside the Elastic Cube to build a data model that then works for your analysts. You want to make the data easy for the analysts to use. You can also change the field types if you know what the system has brought them in, and you can also add custom code to these fields. So if you want to do manipulation on the column, you can actually do that using SQL. So in here, we can see our data model, we can see the dashboard, so we can see how we can create tables, and also inside it, you can even choose any columns that you might, so sales order ID, you might decide, I want to hide that. So there could become columns that you don't want to show to the analyst. So your data modelers in your organization can bring this data together, provide a data mart, and then give it to the analyst who can then use the information inside their dashboard. So really easy to use, really easy to model data. So even with this record here, I can even inspect the information. So I hit preview, and then I'll see the sales orders. I see all the information, the data type. You can sort here, you can filter. So I could just have a filter here and go filter by and add condition containing, say, Latvia, and apply. And now we see just the Latvian records. So if you're looking at your data, if you need to analyze it before you give it the dashboard to check has it come in correctly, to check has it been used properly, you can do that. So I can then take that filter off, apply. But also, as I mentioned earlier on, we can now look at the statistics of the data. So we can actually go in here and see, if I make this a little bit bigger so you can see for the country code, we have the country codes listed here. We can see there are no nulls, which is very good because we use country codes in our countries. We can see in some of the financial information or some of the not numeric information, we can see the range of data. We can see that our country names here are correct, our customer IDs, and we can even drag and filter into the data and see if we want to see one customer. We can actually see that and then cross filter and actually see what kind of information it is. So now with the latest version of Sisense, you can do this data analysis inside the dashboard. So without actually creating a dashboard, your data modeler can actually analyze the information, see what's in the data table, and then look for issues that could cause problems with analytics. You know, if you have the if you have any nulls inside tables that use your dimensions, that's going to cause you a problem. If you have many relationships, that will cause you a problem. So being able to see the information in here is really important and very useful. So once you have your data model in Sisense, you can then create your dashboard. So I'm going to create a dashboard based on this data. Oh, sorry, let's kill that first. And if I go to my dashboard and create dashboard, I can now create my dashboard. So in the retail, I can come in here and go, and I'll call it webinar over sales. create the dashboard, and I'm now into my dashboard. So the first thing you want to be able to do inside your widget, inside your dashboard, is be able to select some data. So I'm going to look in the table, and I'm going to say, well, the first thing I want to know is how much sales have we have. So you can see when you pick a column to add to a widget, it automatically picks a sum or an analytic to do to that. In this case, it's sum, but you've also got the ability to do average, the minimum, the variance, or whatever. But in this case, I just want to do sum. So I now have got my revenue, and it's going to do a sum of the revenue in the system. But I actually want to do a little bit more with that widget. So I go into the advanced configuration. Inside the advanced configuration, I can actually come in here and I can change how that value is shown. So I want it to be shown as a currency. I want it to have 0 decimal places, and I want it to be in euro. So I click that, and now we've got it changed. I also want to change the color. So I want to make it green, and it's added to the green. Now, the next thing I want to do is add a secondary value to that widget. So again, I can go into my widget, and I can now say, okay, I want to know the purchase costs for all the products that we've got. So again, I hit sum, and it shows the purchase cost. And again, similarly, I can turn that to a currency. I can make it 0, and I can make it euro. And I've created my first widget. Really, really quickly, really, really simply, we now have a widget in our dashboard. And I forgot to add a little title to that, so I'll call it sales revenue, and apply. And we've now created our first widget, and it's on the map. Now, the second one I want to do is to show you that in the widgets, we can also, if I want to take out and I wanted to look at profit, I can do a formula. So I change the field here to being a formula. And what I'm actually going to do is take order revenue minus, and I'm going to take purchase cost. And I'm going to call that revenue. So OK on that. And then you can, again, the advanced configuration again. And I can rename, sorry, wrong one. And rename it and call it profit. And in this case, I'll call it global profit. And that's good. And again, I want to make the widget look nice. So it's going to be a 0, it's going to be currency, and it's going to be euro. And I'm going to change the color to, okay, and that's it. And then change the color, this one, to being orange. So I have my second widget on the dashboard, and it shows my global profit and my total revenue. Again, I keep forgetting to put in the title, so I'll just do that quickly, and we'll call that profit. But also, as we discussed before, with Sisense, we have the ability to drag and drop inside the screen. So I'm actually going to move the two widgets beside each other. So easy enough to actually move them beside. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I want to see EU data. So I'm going to select my data. I'm going to look for sum of revenue again. I'm going to go into advanced configuration. But this time, I'm going to add a formula. So I'm going to put a filter at the dashboard, at the widget level. So I'm going to put in region. And in there now, as I pick my filter, I can actually say, okay, I just want Europe. So I've now got European revenue. So again, just to rename that. So it's Euro revenue. And again, I just want to make it currency and 0 and euro. And I hit OK. And again, I could, of course, have a secondary value in there, so I can actually take in the revenue, take out the margin, all that kind of good stuff, and do the same. But I won't hold you up. But just see how easy it is to create a separate revenue widget. So that's now a euro widget, and I can drag that up to the corner, and you can now see that I have euro. And how easy it is for users without having to use code to create this dashboard and to create the widgets. The other thing I want to do then is look at what is the top selling product. So I can now look at the data again. I'll take, again, my old friend, the order revenue. But this time I'm going to put it into a bar chart. And I'm going to look at the advanced configuration. So actually what I want to do is I want to look by product name. So again, by using the category now in the bar chart, I can take a category name, product name as my category. But again, that makes it really busy, and I don't really want to know about all those features. So actually what I want is to be able to see is the filter. And in this filter, I can actually use ranking. So I can actually come into the ranking and I can say top 10 and ranked by order revenue, and I can hit OK. And now we've got our top 10 and we filter that data down. So if I apply that, we've now got our top 10 sales. Again, I forgot to put the title in. So put it in here, top selling products. And we've now added that to the dashboard. Now, one of the other things I was showing you earlier on was how easy it is to change the color scheme and customize the dashboard to how you want to look at. Well, the first thing we can actually do here is we can change the dashboard color palette. So actually I can go to Midnight Light and change that dashboard to that color, or I can go to corporate and we've got different colors, and you can configure how these colors work and what you want to use and how you want to use them. So all very easy to do in the dashboard. The next thing I want to look at is actually look at the sales over time. So again, I'm going to take my revenue. I'm going to go into an advanced configuration, and I'm going to pick a line chart. So we got our revenue, and the axis I'm going to use is date, but I'm actually going to use months. So now we can see we've got our line chart on the map, sorry, on the dashboard, and you can also see over here now we have our quest, which is our deep analysis. So you can actually go in here and look at the different type of models you want to look at, what kind of anomalies, trends, whatever you want to be able to see. But you can then, once you've created your dashboard, you can see sales over time. Hit apply on that. And now I've got my sales dashboard over time. And of course I can filter in there. So I pick the area in the months, and you'll see the rest of the dashboard then reflects what I picked in the time dashboard. And you can see I've now got my selection to a certain area. I can clear that selection. But also with the new release, we've now got our analyze it function. So the ability to come in here, click on and look at, first off, I want to see a trend. So we'll see the trend on the dashboard of where our sales are. So the trend is overall going up. But I also then want to look at explanations. So I want that AI text being generated for me. So I click on the explanation, and I can dive deeper into the map or into the dashboard. So I can then pick and go, okay, I'm looking at this peak here. I'm very interested in why our revenue sales actually hit the top there. If I click on that, it will then give me an explanation, and then it will let me drill further down. So now that I can see, well, a lot of that was generated by these sales in the USA at that time. You can also see the regions, the products, and we can drill in again into different areas as to why we had that spike, whether it was a good spike or a bad spike. We can look at that and analyze it using the explanations. Again, I didn't have to create a dashboard here. I didn't have to build this second dashboard as automatically generated from the initial Sisense dashboard. So that looks really good. Now I have I've created my first bit of my dashboard, but I also talked about this morning about how easy it is to customize and to create PDFs. So the first thing is you can then go into the PDF generator. So I can go PDF report, And now I can actually see my dashboard in the PDF. So it's now laid out in a PDF for somebody to see. I might also decide that actually I want to provide a filter here. So I'm going to take that filter out and I'm going to add a new filter. And again, I'm going to use region just for simplicity. And I'm going to pick Europe. So you can see the profit we haven't been doing. Oh, that's the wrong one. I'll try that. So let's do that again. Filter. Some dodgy data there. So yes, took it in the wrong column. So pick Europe. I was filtering by product, which is the purchases in Europe, not the sales. So this is where understanding your data can go wrong. So now I've actually now filtered by Europe. You can now see the whole dashboard has filtered out, has done the data. And if I go into my PDF now, you can see it even includes in the PDF the fact that I had excluding USA. So it actually shows you what filter is on in your dashboard that generated that PDF that outputted. So the user can have, and you can have as many widgets or filters there to build the dashboard, to build the analytic, to see what they need to see, and then output it to PDF and say, okay, dear exec, this is what you're getting, and this is what we're showing. So really useful in that sense. The other thing, again, I talked about was the ability to customize or integrate the coding or the scripting. So one of the things I can do is on the dashboard or at the widget level, you can you can embed code or edit script. So in this side, I want to edit the script and I go into the script editor for the web page. So for my dashboard, for the script editor now, I can actually put in some code. Now I have my coding is getting a bit rough these days. So I have some code prepared earlier and it is the dashboard code. So I can then go back into here after the commentary here. And this code, I mean, the dashboard will refresh every 60 seconds. So again, if you're using the dashboard on a big screen or a smart board in an office or an organization, as the data is coming in, the dashboard will auto refresh, and then people will see the latest and greatest without having to hit refresh button on the application. So if I hit save on this, so the script is now saved. If I go in and reload my dashboard just once because it has to pick up the new code, so now it has the code in it for doing the refresh. So it'll now update as, so we take a look at the clock here, it's now 10:32. So at about 10:33, the dashboard will refresh itself automatically and pick up the latest data. Now my data is not changing, so you won't see it change, but you'll see the page in a second will refresh and change. It's a nice thing. It just shows the extensibility of Sisense. We've got a full API. With the API, you can pretty much get the dashboard to do anything you want. So that is that's really useful in integrating your dashboard with other applications. So easy to take the code out of the system, to take the application out and then put into another web page or something. And even just looking at that, I can go here and I can go embed code. So I click embed code and it brings up my panel. And it says, well, here's the HTML code or the URL. You hit copy code, and if I just fire up Notepad here, I'll close that. What we'll see is, and you just seen the dashboard refresh, just as I was doing that. It then gives you the iframe or the code. So for that dashboard, if we put this iframe inside any web page, the dashboard is here, will then run inside the dashboard. And naturally, when that's okay if you have to look at authentication is that, but once you have that the authorization done, it's as easy as that to embed this application into some other product. So you can build your dashboard in here and integrate it with your other systems, integrate it with your other applications. So that makes it really very easy then to integrate the application. They make it so simple in Sisense. It is so easy to integrate what you're doing, so easy to bring it all together. The final thing I wanted to show you was the ability to do alerting, so a pulse. So again, I can we will be able to say with any widget, and you see there the dashboard just refreshed. With any widget, we can then say add to Pulse, and then it says, okay, your revenue. You can set a threshold or an automatic, or always if something goes wrong. But actually, usually a threshold is good. You set a value, and say it's 90,000, greater than 90,000 or whatever. And then you can go into advanced, and in here you can set this is the threshold. You can set who should be identified, so it is here in my system, and then you pick what you want. Revenue has gone up as the message, and then you pick your channel, how you're going to communicate that alert, whether it's by email, mobile, Slack, or Zapier. And again, you just do, if it's that, you just the mobile app or by email, the emails be sent out, you hit add, and your Pulse is created. And if I go into the Pulse screen, we can actually see different alerts that have been set up by recently, and you can see the ones I've created now, that they're here, and then they'll be always on the go, and you can track them and change them. So with Sisense, what I've shown this morning is how easy it is to build a dashboard, how easy it is to model your data, do data prep, do analysis of your information, how you can do forecasting and explanations on the information to see what's happening coming down the line, how you can easily create PDFs to share that data, how you can have alerts to proactively tell people if there's an issue with a KPI, and how you can easily customize the dashboard yourself with your own code, and also then integrate it into other websites and make other uses of it as well. So just coming up to about the end of the webinar, I'd like to thank you all for coming this morning. I know it's a bit early in the morning, so good, on a Tuesday morning they have the webinar, and everybody will be here. I'd like to thank Tanya for all our help, and I think we're coming up to about 20, so we won't hold you all for much longer.
Yep. Thanks everyone for your time today, and we hope you enjoyed it. You made it look very easy, Kieran.
Well, it is an easy product to use, so it is good. So for anyone who wants to see this back, the website, the webinar will be on our website, Tanya, isn't that correct, after once it's recorded and sent up?
Yeah, it'll be uploaded this afternoon, and it'll be on our YouTube channel, and we will also share it out on social media.
Yes, great. Okay, I'd like to thank everybody for coming today. I hope you enjoyed the webinar, and we'll talk to you soon.
Everyone, take care.
Thank you.